many of us semiconductor and AI stock investors are definitely having a decent day. I mean, we see Nvidia up, we see AMD up, right? Microsoft up, Meta up, Amazon up. So a few stocks we've been talking about here in this channel overall seems like a pretty strong day. Yesterday we did have earnings for Intel, so we might be able to talk a little bit about that. But like always, this is a nice just Q&A session. It's a live stream of Q&A sessions. You come in, you join, we talk about anything related to the market. I usually focus in the semiconductor and AI industry. And before we get any questions, if we get any questions, make sure to keep them on YouTube or X. I did start live streaming on X today. Yeah, hold on. I just want to make sure everything is running well. It is a Friday, so I'm a little bit on the lazy side today. All right. All right. So Nvidia and AMD. I mean, I think the biggest news is happening for Nvidia, at least. For Nvidia, I do believe we had talks about the H200 and China. Right. I think that's the big thing driving the stock right now. So China has told Alibaba and other top firms to ready orders for H200 AI chips, a key step in Nvidia's goal to re-enter that market. Now, the market really only cares about Nvidia right now, but we know that this type of deal, if Nvidia gets approved, it also means good things for AMD's MI325X. So I think first the market is moving with that as well, right? So you're first having AMD and both Nvidia are moving on this. Now there is a caveat for the Chinese companies that the China government told them is if you are going to purchase US-based company chips, you have to continue to invest domestically. And I think for those companies, that it's a no-brainer. They get to kind of get NVIDIA's chips, and then they will still be able to get still kind of fund domestically as well. So I think for Chinese companies, it's kind of a win-win. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing for them. Now for Intel reported earnings. I did do my episode on my video on it already. That's me posting. So Intel reported yesterday, and two things that I noticed. And if you watched the video, you might have heard this already, but big change in the financials of Intel. First, just this quick chart. This is their total cash and cash equivalents and long-term debt. In June of 2025, they had more than 2 times debt than cash. And now it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's getting closer. Now, there has been a lot of dilution here. The company has sold shares for NVIDIA and for other investors, and the money is coming in. But there has been a good shift there in the balance sheet. That was the first thing that really kind of stood out to me. The second thing is I made a mistake here. But the second thing is Intel shared a lot of information that AMD investors should also kind of know. First, I wrote this tweet last night. So I was half asleep. I scheduled it for this morning, but I wrote it like around 1 o'clock. So I was wrong. I meant to put headwind here. So memory prices are creating a headwind for the consumer market and could hinder growth in consumer tech this year. They mentioned, right, that they talk a little bit about that. The second thing that they talk about is demand for server CPUs is growing much faster than expected, creating a shortage. And the main reason is 6 months ago, the market only thought that core counts would grow, but unit shipments would be flat. Now there is a massive demand for units as well. So Intel does not have enough supply, which is crazy, right? Because they are a manufacturer player, but they don't have enough supply. In my opinion, if AMD planned for a strong supply with TSM, that could be bullish for AMD. They would be able to get all this market share that Intel is unable to provide if they did really strong supply with TSM. So overall, I'm actually pretty excited about AMD's earnings. So I think for AMD, those are the two things driving it up. It's up 3%. It's first the China news, and second, we do have the we do have the the Intel earnings. Now let's kind of go into chat real quick. Good morning, Jose. Just wanted to let you know what I did with my 200 Intel shares. Sold 100 shares at 359 and held the other 100. Nice, nice. Um, yes, I think I sold them to Amit. LOL. It was so crazy. I yesterday. I mean, it's always a huge. People are gonna say cap on this, but I was buying a negative option spread yesterday. And I thought about the idea like 2 minutes before the market closed. Before I hit the send button, the market closed, so I couldn't get it. But I actually would have had a nice day if it went through. It was on my part. I thought of the idea too late. But it's funny. I actually thought of the idea mainly because I was watching Amit's live stream. I'm like, let me just go with what he's going against. So nothing against him, but it's sometimes it's funny to bet against. Uh, Duck cleaning, what's going on, Jose? Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. You are a great source of information. Thank you, sir. You appreciate the support. Um, Feel free to join these live streams. These live streams are meant for a nice, quick 1 hour Q&A session. So if you have any thoughts, any questions on anything I could share, feel free. Good morning, Sage Spectre. Good morning. Good morning. Microsoft, baby, earnings next week is going to break to the upside. Yeah, we do have a nice amount of earnings next week. Let's just pull up Max 7. I talked about it, right? I think the Max 7 is really, really cheap overall. You have, and my players are Amazon. Meta has done crazy, right? Meta was just at $600. Now it's at 660. It's this is why I don't think like investing in big companies is bad, right? I think the Max 7s are going to continue to outperform the overall market. So pretty strong here. But yeah, I'm surprised. I see Microsoft, not a Max 7, but I also saw Oracle was kind of pulling up a little bit from a down. We saw that Oracle now has kind of like TikTok in the joint venture of TikTok in the US. For them, it means they will have a nice amount of data. And obviously the data center compute. Right now you have a steady compute here as well for the TikTok needs, which is extremely high, even though they're already doing it, right? At least that customer, which is massive, continues to stay in that Oracle cloud infrastructure. Interesting. I wonder what they're gonna also do with that joint venture. I'm curious what kind of data they get with it. But Oracle is kind of pulling up. I do think it's creating a nice positive momentum on the other stocks. We have Iron up about 5%. We have, let's see, Nebius. Is Nebius up on the day? Nebius is green, massive U-turn, right? That crazy, crazy U-turn. Can we have some green on CoreWeave as well? Oh, yes, CoreWeave up about 2%. So overall, pretty good there. Yeah, that is too funny though. Well, AMD. Good morning, Big Beard. I always say Big Beard, but good morning, Big Beard. Also, it's crazy. I don't know where you guys are at here in New Jersey. Is the whole kind of United States going to get a crazy winter storm? I don't follow it. I just know in New Jersey, we're going to get a crazy storm. And I tried to go to Costco this morning. It was the wildest thing. You would think a zombie apocalypse or something was happening. There is, yeah. So there, let's see what else we have here. So good morning. Let me just stop showing. We have here, so this question also just came in from Sage Spectre. Will AMD hit $300 by quarter two? By quarter two, so not by this quarter, by quarter two earnings. I think it's all dependent if in quarter two earnings they share guidance for Helios rack. I think the more line of sight that investors could have about the true demand of the MI450, and we know the MI450 is coming out in the second half of this year, right? But by quarter two, AMD should have a nice amount of orders, right? They should have orders already. They should have orders right now. I wish they would share some of that insight. Hey, look, we have about 10 billions of dollars for this year, not a multi-year, right? That's Lisa Su. That's one of my biggest things. Lisa Su says tens of billions in a multi-year time frame. I think she should say tens of billions for this year, right? Or give us more projections. So I think if she's a little bit more confident in giving us a number, and I guess as we get closer and closer, right, you're definitely getting those signatures on those POs. So if we get more insight on that, I think 300 is really possible um, on it. Uh, whenever Intel crashes, AMD goes plus plus plus. I think it's also just with what Intel said. I don't think Intel said. Um, I mean, Intel said there was a CPU shortage, which is extremely bullish for AMD. Intel also says they have supply issues. So if AMD has done really well with supply issues, then this is going to be a great time for AMD. Good morning, Fuser Pro. Good morning. Thank you for having us, for joining us, for having us. Thank you for having us. Welcome. Um, Eddie, what's going on, Eddie? Eddie, have you been on it for a while? Yeah, I did. I think I saw Eddie on the live stream a few days ago. Eddie, good morning, Jose. Do you think Intel's new products are better than AMD's? I don't think they're. I think AMD and Intel are always at it. There are certain things where they would be better at, but in the CPU market, at least for the consumer space, um, they're very competitive, right? Each of them kind of focus in something unique. So right now, AMD definitely has the technological lead, but I would say they're still competitive. I don't know if I would say better. Definitely competitive. I guess it also depends on the workloads and stuff like that. I think each of them have unique workloads, unique pros and cons. Particularly with Panther Lake. I mean, with Panther Lake, with 18, Intel is saying that they obviously that's 18A. That's the first time that we're seeing backside power via. They say that's great for energy. Um, I haven't read too many reviews on it, but that's the story the first party is telling us, right? So I think, Eddie, what I would start to look at is as Panther Lake is rolling out right now, maybe you start to look at some of the reviewers out there and seeing what do they compare. Are they extremely surprised with kind of the energy of it, with the battery life, with the performance? So I think that would be a good time to go to Panther Lake and just start to look at some of the reviews. But I haven't really seen anything that would worry me as an AMD. Institutional investors purchased 20 million Poet AI shares and Rezolve AI 60 million shares this week. Nvidia joining the rally today on news. Interesting. I don't follow those two companies. I know they're super small, 2023 gainer. Um, but yeah, Nvidia, we talked a little bit at the beginning. Nvidia did have that China news, right? If that let's see if we can pull it up. I just had it open. Right, China has told Alibaba and other tech firms to ready orders for H200. So that's definitely providing that nice bullish sentiment um, for NVIDIA. And while I got you guys here, just a quick shout out to the community, what the chip happened. We have some new analysis. We dropped Intel's earnings analysis yesterday. And one other thing that I am working on the community is kind of creating like a one-on-one library with where if you want to learn about a company, you can kind of check it out. In the past 2 days, I've done two. I've done Credo Technologies and Astera Labs. So if you want to join the community, check out what the chip happened. The amount of content I provide here is insane. And if you use code 2026, you get 33% off the annual subscription. I also do exclusive live streams there. Saw some updates on China. H200 order. Could please share any research you have done? Yeah, so that's the only thing, right? I mean, that's all we have. We don't have any confirmation on the H200. It's just Bloomberg reported that China has told Alibaba and other top tech firms to ready orders for H200. And NVIDIA has said that once they get the POs, that's great. We've heard that reports that NVIDIA is also, if you're placing an order from China, they want the money up front, right? We're not going to wait it later just in case the government like says, you know what, psych. So NVIDIA is going to take that money up front. If orders are coming in, this would be more of like a Q2 issue, right? Because NVIDIA's quarter is ending in about 7 days. So I don't think if they're placing orders, it would impact this quarter at much, if any. But if it's happening now, it's gonna we still have 7 days for quarter 1, but maybe we hear more guidance on it in earnings in February. The other thing, right? This also means it's bullish for AMD. They're going to be able to sell the MI325. AMD reports earnings in 2 weeks, I believe. So we can probably even get a little bit more insight there from AMD as well. So that's where we're going to get the real information on these H200 in China. Shay, what's going on, Shay? Um, Intel saying there is a shortage means more margins for AMD. Yes, right. Well, it means more revenue potential. If they've done really well with TSM, I think Intel's pain is going to be AMD's gain. What's going on, Vin? Good morning. What's going on, Big Buck? My boy Adam Riz. Good morning. What's up, Buck? Long time. It's this is bringing me back to 7 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, when I used to live stream. Maybe I should have kept live streaming. Maybe that was one of my biggest mistakes of how the channel didn't grow as quickly. But YouTube being here is crazy. It's completely nostalgia. Um, Jose, you think Nvidia will dip to 175 from your technical analysis? Red pill, red pill. Unfortunately, I don't do technical analysis. Right, that's not my end game. I really don't touch, don't do anything there. So I can't share anything on the on technical sides. I would say the market is always extremely volatile. There could be any news that impacts these stocks. Tomorrow, we could hear some negative news about China. We can hear a new bearish thesis about the AI data center. We could hear some crazy revolution in the AI market that would create some pressure. Now, 175 is definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've seen it, right? We saw it in December. It's not impossible. So that's the only thing I would say. It's not impossible, especially with the AI market the way it is, right? The AI market is completely volatile. Uh, uh, Big Beard will change his name to Big Bear. 12 degrees in Colorado, snow tomorrow. Yeah, so it's everywhere, right? Thoughts on how bad AMD crashes when OpenAI collapse? Technically insolvent. Nvidia takes biggest hit for sure. I mean, does OpenAI collapse? Do you think that's the case, or does the AI money pour in before that happens? Right. One thing OpenAI is doing, they completely have changed their business strategy. Right. I think they're focusing more on enterprise than consumers this year, which would be a very healthy business. Not CoreWeave, Claude, Anthropic does it really well. So no one's thinking about what if they change their business idea and focus in the enterprise market. That's still a lot of AI compute. It will still be. I don't think OpenAI collapses this year or next year. That's my take, at least. So for the next 24 months, I don't think there's a collapse within this player. Excellent channel. Thank you. Ruin. Excellent channel. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Always appreciate the support. My gut told me before that NVIDIA will not go through 187. Once it hit 87, they will push it back. Then, is this your technical? I don't know. I mean, I don't mind if we stay around 180s. I think getting before earnings and we see a strong reaction during earnings. I think earnings is going to be crazy. I think guidance is going to shock companies. So if we're below 200 before earnings, I think we break over 200. But we have so many earnings since then. We're going to have big tech capex, right? We're going to have Microsoft. We're going to have Google. We're going to have all these players. And I'm going to guess all these players are going to say, look, capex is still pretty healthy. Holy smokes. It's negative 14 right now. That is wild. I'm not going to complain. All that was going on, Josher. Josher's another one I remember. It's so tough for Intel to compete with TSMC. Crazy, right? It's so crazy that they're in a shortage, that Intel is in a shortage, even though they're a foundry player. They should have been working on those damn wafers. South Dakota is crazy. Definitely not going there anytime soon. Hello. I was continuous follower of you, and I can say I am biased with you. You're doing a great job. Wish you 100K subs. So that would be awesome, right? Awesome. I would appreciate it. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up and subscribe, make sure to do that. Jensen is on the way to China to talk through the chips approval. Is he even? What What I don't get, why would he want me to go there? I guess he's just gonna be like, yes, you guys go buy your domestic chips, but you can buy from us. What's going on, Eddie? Do you expect AMD to include China revenue in 2026 guidance? No, RJ. Main reason is it's so volatile, right? It can shut off as quickly as it can be turned on, and I don't think companies, it's bad for a company to give out a guidance and then kind of take it away later on. So if they're not sure it's gonna stick, they'll rather just not include it. But they would kind of give us, hey, look, there's potential upside. I think they'll give us a little bit of both, right? They'll be like, if um if your our guidance is going to be X and X excluding China. But if China would be included, it would be closer to blah, blah, blah. Quick reminder though, this market is completely volatile, that I wouldn't really price it in. I would most likely price in this one because just we don't know where the market will take us tomorrow. -14 in North Carolina. Wow. In North Carolina? Iowa? What? I don't know. I had two states there. Iowa, North Carolina now. Original AMD gang. LOL. Agree. AMD is my largest holding. Nice, nice, nice. NVIDIA at 175. I'm buying more. I'm with you. I am with you there. Please, no 175. Definitely no 175. Quick shout out here. I do see. It's so funny. I don't really get I can't. Eddie here. Any thoughts on? For some reason, I don't get. Never mind. So Eddie here. I can't share it. But any thoughts on photonic computing? Is it BS or legit disruption? More or less real than quantum. Um, to be honest, Eddie, I don't know yet. In photonic computing, I've I mean, I've heard photonics used for. I honestly, I can't give you an answer here, Eddie. Um, I guess I have to do a little bit more research on this. Not a space I've been following. Uh, so let me just put this on my whiteboard, on my blackboard. Photonic computing. Maybe I can give you an answer on Monday. All right. How about that, Eddie? I'm gonna put IO Eddie on my thoughts on photonic computing. All right. I bought it on my whiteboard. Whiteboard photonic computing. I owe Eddie some thoughts here. Um, All right, Eddie. So I'll share some thoughts there. Please, no 175. Yep. All right. Let's see where else. Jose, what part of NJ are you in? I'm in Bordertown. Never heard of Bordertown, NJ. About all right. I'm not. I'm closer to like. I'm in North. No, closer to Newark, right? From Trenton. I used to live in South Jersey, 5 minutes from the bridge of Philadelphia. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, Red Claw. I'm closer to what North Jersey, but the city North Jersey, right? I'm closer to Newark, um, to that area. I need 250, Vincent. For Nvidia, we all need 250, right? That I with 250, I'll be live streaming in the garage with my cars or something. Just subtle flexes. You would know. I won't say anything, but you would know. 180 seems the floor. Or are we talking here for Nvidia? That would be. I mean, I think right. Any volatile market can create new floors. I hope you're not adding to Nvidia. Why not? I mean, I think Nvidia, right? Crazy PE. If you told me, if someone was to tell me I'm adding to Nvidia right now, I would. I mean, with the forward PE ratio, let's look at that forward PE ratio, right? We look at it every single episode. I didn't bring it up. Someone brought it up. So don't say, Jose, you always look at NVIDIA. Someone brought it up. This is a Q&A hour. Let's see ratios. Fiscal.ai/Jose if you want 15% off, right? I need to make some money in these live streams, right? Let's see. So fiscal.ai/Jose. Forward PE 26 for a company that's going to grow around 60% next quarter, not counting China. Imagine if China guidance comes in, or imagine the guidance with Vera Rubin. I how I, This is wild. It's just wild to me. It is wild to me, right? But maybe I'm a little bit biased here. Boom, 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 boom. Some people are talking about -40 wind chill. That's wild. I just never go outside. Jose, have you looked into payment processors like Visa and MasterCard when it comes to agentic commerce? No, not. But I would say, Victor, it's interesting, right? A lot of these companies like PayPal. Oh man, am I going to summon Neil by saying PayPal? Um, they have data, right? So these companies would actually be extremely well for e-commerce agentic solutions, just like Amazon. So curious how their data could help them grow a little bit into this agentic e-commerce world. But it's not something that, at least for the big players, I see as a massive growth opportunity. I see it more as a just sticking with the business aspect, right? It's more of a holding the moat than massively growing the moat, if that makes sense, Victor. Just like with a lot of software plays, right? I think it's more of just additive, but not a massive grower. Let's see. We got some questions. If it's 250 in a year, doesn't matter. That is true, right? If it's 250 in a year, that's the great thing, right? It's it's I don't know. It's all about perspective, right? I mean, Nvidia 187. Even if you bought at 170 6 months ago, you're up 10%. 10% is really good. So sure, it sucks that we're no longer in the 200s, 207s, but 10% gains. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm sure you're with it. Yo, yo. Another OG. I miss you, Jose. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Another OG. It's crazy. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I had a little one, time scheduling, have to find how I'm going with the channel and stuff, but at least we're almost 2 weeks of this 1 hour Q&A session. So hopefully we can continue this. I have another question here. All right, so we have another question. Appreciate the super chat. So first super chat was from Eddie. Hopefully I can answer this second one. From Natalia, 5282. What are your takes on air and price target for current levels? All right, let's see. Let's look at air test systems. Let me give me a quick second. Let's jump in here. So air test system, I like the business, right? I do own it. This is one that I do own. Extremely volatile, right? Some might look at it and say, holy smokes, down 8%. I'm actually looking at it and saying, holy smoke, we're still at $28, right? I mean, market cap, because just a year ago, right, we were sitting in the tens. Luckily, one of the stocks we do talk about in this channel, we talk a little bit more than Nvidia and AMD, but Air Test, less than $1 billion market cap, right? They're growing in the AI processor, kind of burn-in test solutions. They're in the wafer burn-in test solutions as well, and they're talking about growing in the memory market, right? So overall, I'm actually pretty bullish in the company. Now, I'm gonna say my cost basis is preventing me from buying a little bit more, right? Low entry. If I was purchasing right now, I think it would be very small dollar cost average, right? It would be just getting exposure as little as I can. You see a lot of pullbacks. I mean, just in this past year, right? You saw a pull down here of 21%. You saw a pull down here of 40%. You saw a pull down here of 21%. You're even seeing a pull down here of 8%. So I think the volatility is there. So for this one, it'll be like small dollar cost average, so I can crave that edge if I wanted to increase my position. But really, no, when things go down, I will get the opportunity. I could get the opportunity to buy higher. So I like air test system, right? Burn-in test. Let me see if I actually talked about it. Just quick. I know I talked about air tests. Air. When did they report earnings? Did I not? TSMC. I did not do air test system. Oh my goodness. All right, I guess that's my homework for because they reported earnings already, right? That's my homework for my AI community. We're gonna do air test system for sure. I thought I did it. Holy smokes. All right, air test system is coming. It's coming. But I really do like air test system for, it's an equipment player. We saw TSM increase capex. They're entering into new markets. Silicon carbide can eventually pick up for electric vehicles, for robotics, and can also, so that's a tailwind, a potential tailwind in the future. Jose, any plans to go to GTC 2026? Yes, yes, I do. I think there's 90% chance that I'm going. A 90% chance that I'm going, maybe even closer to 95%, right? I will have an answer by like Monday or Tuesday. If I can, I'm gonna see if I can set up some interviews. If I can set up some interviews, then yes. Um, Crossroads did a video on Air's earnings. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those companies that I just I don't follow Crossroads again. I don't follow any segments, but I talked about it in my videos for their earnings. Um, Everything's just continuing to do that nice momentum, right? For air tests, it's just going right. You just kind of wait it out. Um, Jose, do you think we're in an AI bubble? There are a lot of talks about growing recessions and possible incoming market collapse. If that happens, I wouldn't mind being patient to buy cheap stocks. Red pill. I mean, do I think we're in the AI bubble? I don't think so. I mean, we still have massive amount of free cash flow from all the Max 7s, so that's bullish, right? I could believe there might be certain companies and certain stocks that are definitely seeing a bubbly scenario, right? There's certain stocks I personally wouldn't touch. Now, in an AI bubble, I think right now where there could be some markets that are supply constraint right now that would be not supply constraint in a year or two from now, and that could create certain price actions to reduce. But I think with the overall, like at least for my beliefs, we're going to continue to be supply constraint in cloud infrastructure and AI chips, at least for the foreseeable 24 months, maybe 18 months. Let's say 18 months. Growing recessions is I don't follow the macro too much, right? Red pill. So I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to talk to you like I know anything here. Um, I know there's other people that might be able to share better insight there, but from what I'm seeing, AI is moving and is pushing companies to have better efficiencies. The investments are real and the returns are real, at least for the Max 7. That's why I'm really excited about the Max 7s themselves. Yeah, yeah, I know Roy from Cross. I know the name. I've just never watched anybody. And again, that's not any negative. It's I only in YouTube I only watch two things. I watch nonsense TV or I watch no, I think that's all I watch. Nonsense TV on YouTube. That's the only thing. Let's see what other questions we have. Let's see. All right. So AMD is actually doing really well. 2.7. Nvidia still up 1.5%. How's my baby CoreWeave doing? CoreWeave up 1.7. If Simon is around, I'm just going to show his iron. I'm pretty sure this one was doing good. Yeah, back at 55. So overall market there, the data center markets are doing pretty well. I'm trying to go back and grab all the questions. Um, Hold on. No one posted a comment just yet. Yo, what's going on, Matt? Uh, Jose, what's going on with Sandisk and why wasn't it public until recently? Did he take it private and IPO'd it again? I don't know. I don't follow Sandisk too much. The only thing is if you bought Sandisk, you're extremely rich right now. Who needs NVIDIA when you have Sandisk? That's the only thing. Um, Do you think AMD breaks all-time highs before earnings call? I think it's possible. Sentiment is really high right now. I don't know how I like about sentiment being high before earnings, right? Lisa Su tends to be a little bit conservative. That's what scares me a little bit with the short-term price action, long-term extremely, extremely bullish. Are you worried about OpenAI running out of money? No, I think they have plenty of people that are willing to invest in the company and they'll continue to kind of sell shares. 175 doesn't give confidence in the stock. Are we talking about NVIDIA here? There comes the Amit. Did Amit just finish streaming a few minutes ago? Um, Smash that like button. Thank you, Matt. Oh, is that what happened? Oh, okay. Sandisk was acquired by Western Digital. Then it got spinned off recently, and it was amazing for the spinoff. A lot of finance doers just have a recession video every day a week. I don't get how they have viewers. I mean, I think many people would say the same about me. I talk about semiconductors every day. How do I have viewers, right? There are certain people that just like, I guess, hearing about recessions. Uh, Sandisk broke off. Um, you guys are smart. You guys are smart. Everybody knows this, right? You guys are you? Are you guys using AI? Did you guys all really know this, or you guys are now just repeating each other? What do you think about Amkor at current prices? I think the sentiment is real. I don't know. I mean, one thing. Am I gonna get people upset with me? I just don't see the excitement in the short term, right? It takes time to build capacity and manufacturing lines. And from what analysts are expecting, right? Maybe analysts could be wrong, but this is a foundry business, right? The foundry business is a little bit easier to project because there's only X amount of supply that you can really grow. But you did see a nice boost here in the most recent quarter. Are you again, are analysts just not projecting it correctly? But there doesn't seem to see much growth from here in revenue. Does that create short-term pressure on the stock? Or are analysts just completely wrong, right? I don't follow the guidance, but if I was to look at this, and if analysts have expected, it's like the stock has run up a nice amount, but it takes time to build supply lines. When are some of these supply lines going to build up? Um, and when is the company really going to see some of those results? That's my question. Sentiment is real, so all for it. Are you worried? Mantis, what's going on? Mantis is another OG, I believe. I think I remember Mantis for many years ago. Having a quick flashback of when I used to stream. Are you worried about OpenAI? No, I'm not. I think, like I mentioned, I think they're. Um, I think they're going to continue to have people invest in them. We have a question here from Josh. So, Josh, thanks for the super chat. Josh, let's see if. What are your thoughts on Rezolve AI with the recent pullback and with their 350 million guidance for 2026? All right, so I don't follow this one, but let's look at it, right? You gave a super chat. The least I can do is look at the company. So market cap of $1.1 billion. Year to date, past year, this was a very popular one, right? It kind of trend up. Rezolve AI. First off, this is just my opinion, but anytime you add AI just to drive that AI wave is not something I enjoy. Like, why do you need to change your business, right? I've been Jose Najarro stock. Should I be Jose Najarro AI now? Jose Najarro NVIDIA AI chips? I think that's just sets a bad name. First thing, but let's look at. I don't know the business itself, so I'm not going to look at the business, but we're going to look at total revenues. Let's look at last 12 months. I mean, you are seeing a massive growth here, right? But they talk 5.3 million. Am I looking at the right company here? Rezolve AI PLC. They reported 5.3 million in the last 3, and you're telling me they're expecting a larger growth. So September they're expecting 30s 13, December 25, and 37 million. I mean, you're seeing some nice growth, definitely, but 37 on an annual run rate. What does that put them? Let's actually go to the last one. Let's go to June. For the next 41 times 4, that's what, 160 million. Where does that 300 and I guess that would be my first question. 350 million guidance for 2026 seems almost impossible. Almost impossible for them. Based on, I mean, it would be crazy growth story if it is true. That would be wild, right? That would be wild. And that would be an extremely cheap price to sales ratio. But it's starting from a very low base. If they can grow to those levels, I mean, this could be a crazy stock. I don't follow the industry, but going from the base they're at right now to 300 million, like you mentioned, that would be wild for this player. Matthew AI. Yeah, I think we should all just do that, right? But in all honesty, like little things like that, uh, rub me the wrong way. Management talking. If management talks extremely arrogant, it rubs me the wrong way. Wrong way. Uh, Little things like that just throw me off from an investment, which could be bad, right? It might not. I might not look at certain stocks, um, but yeah, just certain little gut feelings that I tend to follow to protect me. Let's see what else do we have. I missed a lot of questions. I know I've missed a lot of questions. So let me start from the bottom. Yo, what's on? Hello, TP. Do you think Micron's PE will get re-rated higher? I don't know. I mean, Micron. This is the question of the year. If Micron's PE ratio um, goes higher than the forward PE ratio goes to typical tech, then yeah, you see a much higher price. Does it stay at historical levels? Then I don't know. How much room is there really for Micron to grow? Micron is one of those stocks I personally I'm not touching right now. I didn't touch either, but I'm not touching right now. Let's look at ratios, right? I guess this is one of the bullish sentiments for Micron is this forward PE ratio. So forward PE ratio right now is 10.52. People are going to say, Jose, most big tech have a forward PE ratio of 20. Why can't Micron have a forward PE ratio of 20? Now I'm going to put the median here. Remember, the median is not the average. The median eliminates a lot of the noise, The median for the past 10 years has been around 8. Are things going to change? And let me just say, when Micron's PE ratio has been higher, like when it's been trading at 57s and 55s or 50s, it's not because the stock price has gone up. It's actually because their earnings have dropped down that the price kind of stays in line. Or right, let's kind of, I'm going to guess that if I remember correctly, that's what has happened in the past. Let's look at earnings per share. See, so earnings start to drop off. Um, so it's not because the market gave it a way of market expansion. It's just that the stock was losing its financials, that the PE ratio got uglier, right? It started to look more expensive because financials were dwindling. So is this going to be a different time for Micron? If it go again, I don't know. I wouldn't touch it, but the memory market is completely um over out of capacity, right? I mean, we heard from Intel. We heard from Intel most recent earnings that the client market is going to take a hit this year because of memory shortages. That's the thing. All right. So this is it, right? It could keep rising, right? When I usually don't invest in a company, it's not because I'm necessarily bearish and believe the stock price won't go up. That's not why I wouldn't invest, but it's because the risk to reward ratio is no longer shifted in my favor, right? So it's like, sure, it can continue to go up, but if it goes down, I think my money will take a bigger hit. SMCI, my average is at 28. Supermicro, very nice. I mean, I don't like the business, but I think the valuation might be looking weird. Might be cheap. I don't like the company. I've talked about. I think the hardware data center market is just not my thing. Margins suck, right? I mean, that's the biggest bear flag for Supermicro here. If we look at just ratio, let's just look at gross profit. No, not gross profit change. We don't need to look at that. We want to look at gross profit margins and operating margins. It's been a complete hideous show for it, an S show, right? I don't want to say it loud because my little one is picking up a lot of the words lately. And I think I used the S word a little too much. So I think he's going to be screaming that word sooner or later. But this is the bearish case for Micron, for Supermicro. December 2022, your gross profit margins were double what they're at right now. So in theory, to make the same amount of money that you were making 3 years ago, you have to at least sell 2 times more products. That means you have to do 2 times more work to make the same amount of money. That sounds crazy, right? That to me is crazy. Now, it is also a little bit different right now. Data centers are no longer just small servers. You have a lot more servers. But again, now that's more people you need to be working, right? You have more compute. So it's it's an interesting business because for them, I never even thought about this. Now we're having a moment together. We're having a moment together. AI data centers are getting bigger and bigger. So what does that mean? They need more AI servers. If you need more AI servers, it means you need more people to be able to manufacture these things. If you have more people, you're going to be paying them more. So the manufacturing cost goes high. But if it's such a competitive market, now this is becomes an extremely dilutive margin business. Mind blown. This is what you come in here for that. Um, for that random no term that I'm pretty sure anybody could have thought of. Um, what's going on, Edge? Hey, I was a longtime fan. Thanks so much for the content. Do you have energy play for this AI revolution, or are you staying away from the energy side? The only energy stock that I own is Solaris Energy, SEI. That's the one I own, but I haven't purchased in a while. I think my cost basis is around 30 something, and I only bought like 15 G's of it, so it's not even a crazy big position. Um, so SEI is the only one I have in it. I think the energy play is going to be a winner, right? We are still dependent in this market, and it's a supply constrained space. I just don't know too many of the competition to really find more plays within there. Someone said just sold my Trippy Q. No, see, so that's not what I'm saying, right? I just sold my SMCI things. I wouldn't sell shares because of my thoughts. Because I just mentioned, right? Valuation looks extremely cheap. Even if the business sucks, the market could be punishing it too much where you can still see positive reaction, right? My thoughts are usually more of long-term thinking of where that could happen, but that long-term thinking could take a while before it gets there, right? Um, is AMD still a buy? I have it at 120, but want to add more. So I sold ASML at 900. So I feel like I want more in the chip space. I mean, Alvin, I've talked about it. I believe AMD is $1 trillion market player opportunity. Um, and people, if I missed your question, repost it, please. It's been a little bit hard. It's great issue to have. I want to answer as many as I can. Repost the questions. Obviously, I won't get. I don't consider it spam or anything like that. Um, but just post a question if I might have missed it. I'm at the bottom again. It's getting pretty hard to scroll up. So Alvin, is AMD still a buy? I have it at 120, but want to add more. I think AMD has the opportunity to be $1 trillion company, but it's definitely seen a run up. Right? It's going to be a volatile stock. It's all dependent on the execution of their MI450 and the type of guidance that AMD gives us. Um, but if hmm, I mean, I was just talking about AMD like 5 days ago, and it was a completely different price. It was 200 and something dollars just January 9th, right? In 20 days, probably like 10 trading days, stock is up 30%. Um, the volatility is real. Pull-ups can get pulled down. It would be a more of a dollar cost average for me. Um, loving today. Amazing for AMD. Right. I love it. 261. Wild. Tesla is a buy now. And do you have it? I own Tesla and I own a Tesla. Um, FSD is amazing. Would I buy it now? To be honest, I'm personally not. Um, I personally enjoy a lot of the other Max 7s at the moment, opposed to Tesla. Uh, and I think with the robotics exposure, I can get it with like some of my semiconductor companies. But I mean, Tesla's doing their car business, unfortunately, is painful. It's you're investing in that future. And I think maybe we might hear a little bit more, we might get a little bit more confirmation of when kind of like the robotics future is really happening. Um, you'll see AMD in the 230s again, would be my guess. Yeah, I mean, JWG Dog G. JWG double O, no, BO double G. Um, yeah, it's possible. I think AMD volatility hype before earnings usually kind of sees a pull down. It doesn't always happen, but would I be buying AMD at these levels? Very small dollar cost average. I wouldn't load the truck right now. I definitely would not. Jose, what's your opinion on PayPal? I don't have any opinion on PayPal. No opinion. Um, I don't own it. I don't own much fintech. I've always been worried about I've always been worried about just a lot of competition in there. Not always. Recently with this AI market, I mean, I used to talk about fintech a little bit back then, but I don't I don't know the market too much as I started it, and so no thoughts there. I just see how big of a moat can you have? How much of a competition can you have? Or are you just looking at a valuation price point? Um, was going to say pump my meta bags. Meta doesn't need any pumping, right? And what meta bags? You have no meta bags, Adam. I'm pretty sure your meta is extremely, extremely, extremely cheap, right? Uh, I know Adam has been holding this one for a while. So amazing. Meta, I mean, just today doing great. Mag 7 looks cheap. Cheap. What's looking cheap? I like the Mag 7. Been talking about them. It's a boring play, but 6% in 5 days isn't boring. Right? Past year, flat. But hey, we started talking about Meta here. This was one in the Decembers that I really started to add. Meta and Amazon were my December buys. Amazon in the 220s and Meta in the 600s. And then of Meta previous thoughts on Bitcoin, HPC stock of CleanSpark. No, Sandy, come on, Sandy. I haven't had any research from the 12 hours ago. You might 24 hours ago. What do you think about Duolingo? I don't, Prestige. I don't with Duolingo. Not necessarily a bearish take. A company could be undervalued, and you just buy a company because it's undervalued and it's a great valuation. I like a company where I can see what's the next big thing outside of just upselling, right? What is that next big thing? And for Duolingo, like I personally, I don't have the vision for it, but like, what's the next thing for Duolingo? What is the growth there? Is it just people continuing to want to learn languages? I don't see that as a bearish thing, right? I think people will want to continue to learn things, but what is that next big thing of Duolingo? What is that it product? Where does it go? What does management tell us, right? I mean, for my chip companies, I know where it's at, right? I know it's the robotics market. I know it's the autonomous market. What is, or what are they doing? Are they creating a massive catalog? I don't know too much about the company, but to me, that's where I'd like to focus on companies that have something that can grow from here. And that 5 years from now, it could be like, oh, wow, that's definitely exciting. And from a top level overview, it's like from a language, from a learning app. I guess that's what we could call it now, a learning app, because they have chess, they have not math, they have math. From a learning app, you can expand into more, maybe become the Netflix of learning, but it's that their goals. What have they told us? Ask Gemini or ChatGPT to make you a lesson. It's pretty good at it. I could barely speak English. Now you want me to learn another language, Adam? Um, your thoughts on Netflix? They keep increasing my prices. That's bullish for the stock. Um, I just started a position in CoreWeave. Do you think it's undervalued right now? I think neo clouds are gonna explode, especially with Vera Rubin coming soon. So I own CoreWeave a lot. It is actually my second biggest position. Number one is Nvidia. Number two is CoreWeave. Number three is AMD. My CoreWeave position is about $90. $90 cost basis. I believe it's a multi-bagger opportunity, be worthy. But I think if you don't follow this industry as closely, it could get scary. This is a very volatile stock. You're going to hear people talk about its debt. You're going to hear people talk about how there's no moat within its business or anything like that. CoreWeave has massive AI infrastructure that no one at the moment, Simon, I know you're here. If you're here, Simon, that no one at the moment can touch in forms of size of AI clusters. The reliability of them running these GPUs is wild. Their customers are the ones that are building these massive plays. So I like CoreWeave. They have a great partnership. I think out of all the neoclouds, the partnership between CoreWeave and NVIDIA is the closest. Not just all these people have platinum partnership. I'm not talking about just like the platinum partnership. I'm talking about the partnerships between the CEOs, the partnerships integrated within the business. Is extremely high. It's one that you can't really look at it through press releases, and you just can follow it through discussions of interviews. Um, that partnership, I think, is going to go a long way. So I like CoreWeave. I think neoclouds are going to explode. I'm bullish. CoreWeave is my biggest position in forms of neoclouds, but I also own Nebius, and I do have some option spreads on Iron as well, and Oracle. I own some Oracle, not too much anymore. Um, Big Steve, what do you think of Oracle's debt? Is it sustainable? It's sustainable if the AI market is real. That's the story about these companies. If the AI story is real, the debt is sustainable. If it's not real, right? Um, if it's not real, then this debt is going to destroy them. So you have to be bullish in the AI market if you're going to invest into some of these heavy debt players. What is your average on Nebius? Let me see. I don't on Nebius, I think I got um sorry, let me see. I think it's in the 80s or 90s. I think I got into Nebius pretty late as well. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Cost basis. You asked the question, and I have about 3 minutes to see all positions. Nebius. Cost basis. Does it tell me here? Yeah, $90 for Nebius. 90.67. I'll make sure they're doing a little bit of both, right? Mainly they've been they don't own the data center infrastructure, they own the GPUs, but they're mixing it out now, right? Fresh Julian, they're doing a little bit of everything. They're building their own data centers now with their own infrastructure. So it's all AMD dropping. Good game. GG. It's because the AMD knows I'm about to let go. I mean, you're still up 2.4%. It's all about perspective. Um, how's your young one holding up? Good. The wife is home today. She does have every other Friday off. So I'm still gonna get off at 12 though. I want to go hang out with the family. Um, but the little one is holding up. Soon he's gonna be my unpaid intern for What the Chip Happened community, right? He's gonna be doing AI research with me, gonna teach him how to do AI models and stuff like that. Um, is it big position or small compared to CoreWeave? Compared to CoreWeave, it's small, right? Let me see. My if Nebius position is about 1/6 the position of CoreWeave. Now CoreWeave is huge. CoreWeave is huge. So 1/6 is still a nice amount. I think it would still be in the high single digits, mid single digits in my overall portfolio from Nebius. The AMD down to levels not seen since this morning. Neil, probably. Jose, can you explain HBM memory? HBM memory on a quick level, it's DRAM. So you have your typical DRAM, right? You have your typical DRAM that goes in your solutions. Now, HBM is DRAMs kind of stack on top of each other, but they need to be stacked at such a perfect way that there's a lot of yield issues. So that's why you kind of have that memory shortage on DRAM. The other thing is now all these stacked solutions also get stacked onto an AI chip very close to your CPU or your GPU or whatever type of processor you have to have the easiest fastest way of communication. And again, you need to be able to connect that in such a unique way. And obviously, chips are getting smaller and smaller that it's so hard to do it. That's why yields are also pretty wild. So this is why kind of HBM is extremely expensive. It's the yield process. It takes a lot of ratios compared to your typical DRAM. And if that issue does get solved, though, that could be great for margin booster. Bro is living the dream life, man. I think I am. I think I am. If you're talking about me, I am, right? Just working YouTube and chilling with the wife and kids. Hope everybody just enjoys, right? That's it. It's literally having fun with the family and grinding out at the same time. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna head out. How can we miss on Micron? How can we miss? Yeah. I mean, it's okay. You don't have to catch all. You don't have to catch them all, right? But first, appreciate the support. Let me see if I might have missed any other super chats. Appreciate the support super chats. We had a few super chats today. So shout out to Josh, Natalia, and Eddie. Eddie, I still owe you. I have photonic computing here, Eddie, so I still owe you if you're there. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Hopefully the market stays green for the stocks we talk about here. I don't know how the rest of the market. And yeah, enjoy the great family. Stay warm, people. Stay warm. Don't go to Costco right now. It's crazy out there. Big Buck. Isn't it 12? Not doing full stream today. It's 12. I did my hour. What do you mean, Big Buck? Star Buccaneers. How long do you want me to do? So yeah, I'll be on Monday though. For Monday, we're definitely on. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button, thumbs up. And now you're gonna awkwardly watch me and the stream because I forget the button. And this is my little tune. I need to hide this. All right, stop here.